Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex or Nuzz here, and in today's video, we're going to be looking at some endgame RuneScape 3 goals. Now, this is not going to be about things like tier 92 weapons. This is going to be about true, super long-term endgame goals. This is going to be major pie in the sky goals. I thought it was really interesting. Things that you're hoping to one day accomplish, that you're striving for, an ultimate goal, if you will, in RuneScape 3. Things that make you feel like almost like you beat RuneScape or achieved a super huge long-term goal. If you like videos like this, make sure to subscribe for more RuneScape 3 content. 70% of you aren't subscribed, so let's get even closer to that massive pie in the sky 100k subscribers goal. That's my end game long-term goal, maybe one day. And like the video if you can, as it gets it out to more people and lets more people see it. So let's get into this. So it's great to have goals in RuneScape, and short-term goals are great as well, but it's those super long-term goals that really keep you going. I'm sure you have them in real life too. Maybe it's something like a new car, a house, a new job, a career accomplishment, an education, something super long-term that, keeps you striving every day. Well, today we're going to look at that equivalent for RuneScape 3. So yes, there's going to be some really big and luxurious goals in this video, and that's kind of the point of it. Alright, so the first thing we're going to talk about is boss enrage titles. Now, these goals truly showcase skill and perseverance when it comes to bossing. The main enrage titles currently are Telos, Glacier, and Zamrock. Jagex actually recently updated this, so now all these bosses have bronze enrage titles as well. So for instance, Telos has a normal warden title at 500% enrage, then the bronze warden title at 1000%, the silver warden at 2000%, and the golden warden at 4000%. Then you have something like the new boss Zamrock, which is similar, and then the Arch Glacier, which has the Iceborne title at all these enrages as well. These goals can be long term or they can be short term depending on how good you are or your experience with the boss, but for me, getting the silver Iceborne title was one of my biggest accomplishments to date in RuneScape 3. It's not the golden one, but it took me months of grinding and getting good at the boss to achieve this, not to mention I made a really good amount of money as well. When I finally got that 2000% kill, it felt just so nice and fulfilling, which is one of the reasons I think enrage titles should definitely be on this list. While they're not probably as long term as the others depending on your difficulty, there's a lot of them and they really force you to improve your skills at PvM. Next is actually a new item that was just released today, which is the Master Max Cape. Now this cape is achieved by getting skill level 120 in all skills. So safe to say this is definitely an endgame goal when it comes to skilling. I actually really like the look of this cape. I know a lot of people didn't like it, but I think it looks pretty sharp. Now this is something that I personally won't have for quite a while because most of my 120 skills are combat based and I have quite a ways to go for all the others, but it's for sure a really nice endgame goal and really nice looking that some of you might actually be close to, and it actually feels like now it gives 120s more of a meaning than they had before. Of course, you get the cape before the 120 cape, but now you have an ultimate goal of getting this big cape for getting every skill 120. Now in the same sort of area, we also have the trimmed completionist cape. Now this cape is extremely, and I mean extremely hard to obtain. There's too many things to list, but it basically consists of doing a little bit of everything in the game, from getting 120 in different skills, completing different boss challenges, different achievement diaries, quests, all sorts of odd side missions and collections that you'd never think about. You basically have to do a little bit of everything that the game has to offer to get this cape, and something I honestly don't know if I'll ever get, but it's certainly up there as a huge endgame goal, and if you see somebody with this cape, you know they're legit. Next, we have the ultimate goal of max PvM gear. Now, Wazware actually did an excellent video comparing the price of endgame gear in all styles to a party hat. It's a really good watch, so I'm gonna link it below, and you guys definitely should watch that. But I believe endgame PvM gear in all styles, completely maxed with best perks, is billions and billions of GP. As of his video, it was like 70 billion GP to get max gear, perks, everything in all styles, which is just a huge goal. It's just such a big thing to accomplish, and many people are slowly upgrading their gear to try to get the absolute best. And with more gear coming out yearly, this is a kind of goal that is forever changing, but one that I kind of like to more keep in the back of my mind. Even though I know it'll be hard to actually ever accomplish this, it does make me feel good when I buy an upgrade, knowing that I'm just one step closer to maybe one day having max gear for all styles. Now, speaking of PvM, there are a lot of endgame goals when it comes to PvM, but there's also things like clues. These are through collection logs, which give titles for clues as well as PvM. Firstly, we have the Ultimate Slayer title, the Golden Reaper title, or Clue Scroll titles. Now, these are more for the ultimate collector that is grinding all types of a certain type of content in the game. For instance, Golden Reaper is a very, very popular title to go for, but extremely time consuming and rare, where you need to complete every boss collection log in RuneScape, which is a huge grind, and again, something that I personally am slowly trying to do myself, not something that I'm actively acting to go towards, like grinding constantly for, but something that in the back of my mind I want to get closer and closer to. I know it's going to take a long time, so in a similar aspect, we have the Ultimate Slayer title, which is achieved through, well, Slayer. You need to complete the entire Slayer collection log, which on the surface you may think, that's actually not too bad, but in reality there's a ton, and I mean a ton, of super rare items that you need to collect for Slayer, like the Hex Hunter bow, the Camel staff, all the Lava Strike Worm drops. There are so many extremely rare drops for this collection log, and I really don't see that many people with it, and it's really time consuming, so it's a really cool one as well. And if PvM isn't your thing, there's still other logs. I mean, you have a simple one like the, player-owned farm log, but you have something like the Clue Scroll collection logs and titles, which range from easy clues, which take a good amount of time but not a massive amount of time to do, and then master clues. If you're a cluer, this is a huge goal to complete. This is one that for sure is going to make you a massive amount of GP, as you'll need tons of dyes and rare items, and it's going to make you super rich. So these are all really good endgame goals to keep in the back of your mind and see how close you are to completing all these logs. Now, maybe if you're super rich from these, you can go for some of these luxury goals. Now, first, we of course have a personal long-term goal of mine, a rare item, or more specifically, a party hat. This is just a lot of people's dream item in RuneScape, and for good reason. They're so iconic, but with such iconic popularity comes a big price. Rare items in RuneScape 3 and party hats are extremely expensive, costing tens of billions of GP, but still, people want these items so bad. They just look so iconic. There's lots of them. If a party hat is too much for you, there's things like Santa hats, Halloween masks, which are still very expensive, but a bit less in price that you can go for. These are typically just fashionscape items. They don't really serve a purpose other than a status symbol or, of course, looking nice. These are things that, again, are truly the luxury goals, truly that, brand new luxury car. These aren't something that have any sort of value in the game other than just looking nice. But still, these luxury goals are certainly people's endgame goals, ultimate goals in RuneScape 3, and I'm not gonna lie, they're one of mine too. Now, in the same vein as this, we have different things like dyeing your weapons and armor. A lot of people do this instead of going for rare items, or they do both if they're super rich, but dyes are gotten from clues, and they basically can be used on, tier 90, tier 92, tier 95 armor and weapons to make them look, well, awesome. You can have third age dye, blood dye, shadow dyes. They cost billions of GP, but they're used to basically cosmetically change these endgame PvM weapons and armor. When people don't have too much left to do, when they're happy with their gear, they don't want any rare items, a lot of people end up turning to dyes to kind of get that goal, that long-term goal of dyeing all their weapons and armor, just to basically look cool. So this is another luxurious serious endgame goal. I'm not sure if I'm too much of a fan of dyes. I kind of like the fact that with a rare item, you can keep it forever. You could possibly sell it. With dyes, you use it, that money is gone. I guess it keeps you want to continue grinding and making money because you're basically getting rid of that money. But personally for me, it's just not for me. But rare items is something as well that I think I'll go for instead. Speaking of lots of money, there's another endgame goal that you might not expect, and this is the Richie pet. Now, this pet is pretty funny. This pet is basically one that you can go and you can get at the Grand Exchange. Is a little bird and he's got different hats. Now, to get him, he's, well, as his name seems, you have to give him millions or billions of GP. So if you want to unlock the red version of him, you have to give him 100 mil. The yellow hatted version of him, you have to give him 1 bill. For the purple hatted version of him, you have to give him 5 bill. And if you want Richie to have a party hat of his own, make sure to give him 10 billion GP and you'll unlock Richie with his very own party hat. And no, you can't steal the party hat from him and profit. I wish you could, but you can't. But this is kind of a funny, you know, sort of memey endgame goal. It's not one that I think many people are going for, but hey, if you think he's cute, maybe you'd rather have him other than a party hat or dyeing your items. Now, something else interesting that I thought of for this video is rune score. If you don't know, rune score is basically achieved by doing different things in the game. Achievements, you know, every time you get a 99, you're getting a little bit of rune score. Every time you make progress towards max cape, completionist cape, you're getting a little bit of rune score. There's tons of little achievements through the game that get you rune score. Now, rune score can actually give you pets as well. There's certain pets that you can get for getting like 10k rune score, 30k rune score. So not many people think about rune score, but going for like extremely high or max rune score is gonna take you through a lot of different weird things. I did a video where I did some of the weirdest achievements in Runescape, which ended up having me killing a Raxor with bronze weapons and armor, which was interesting to say the least. But doing this got me some rune score. So while this kind of is like a passive goal because you're going to be gaining rune score throughout the game, there are some weird achievements that you can go for to kind of boost that rune score up even more. And it's kind of just a little flex to see how high you can get your rune score. So while certainly a little unconventional, getting your rune score up and getting a ton of different, you know, achievements done is certainly a big endgame goal, and maybe it's something that you'll add to your list. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love looking at, you know, different goals in Runescape because it's basically what makes the game fun, makes you want to continue grinding. And I think these ultimate long-term goals are kind of some of the best goals because it's a thing that, you know, it's going to take a long time. You might never get there, but it's something that just keeps you motivated and keeps you wanting to play. So I thought this would be a fun video for everybody. So if you liked it, make sure to leave a like, comment what your long-term goal is in RuneScape 3, and I'll see you all in the next video.